Hello everyone, Warangel here, and I must say everyone, it is good to be back. Now it's been a long time since the last episode, thanks to one thing and another, mainly which being that I was actually nervous. The longer I was leaving things, the more nervous I was feeling about recording for some reason. So eventually I decided, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna have to get back into recording. Not only was I missing it, but there's been a lot of developments in the case of Warhammer over the past few months. We've had the announcement about Warhammer 3 with that really cool trailer with the Serena of Kislev Katarina. Facing the Bloodthirster, that looked so cool. We also had a new legendary lord given to us, the Beast Lord Rakoff, that you can see right here. So I'd love to be able to check him out at some point. It's actually been a while since I played Warhammer 2, so that hasn't helped things. But we are starting this week with two new campaigns. The first of which being a Vortex campaign, which I like to think of as the viewer's choice. This is because the last vote I asked you guys for was to pick which race we should play as next, and the winning race was the Skaven, so it was just a case of deciding which faction we should play as. Now, there are a couple of reasons why I've decided to go with Great Clan Pestilens, with Lord Skrolk being our faction leader, but I'll talk about that in the actual game itself. But before we hit start campaign, we are just going to quickly go through the faction effects, because these may differ from the vanilla ones thanks to the mods I'm using, which, as always, you can find the mod collection linked in the video description. So there is the faction ones. Here is the Lord one in particular. I just noticed actually that Clan Pestilens units like Plague Monks and that are going to be really cheap when it comes to Lord Skrolk, which is going to be quite cool. Yeah, very cool. We're also going to be doing this campaign on very hard difficulty for the campaign itself and normal for battles, just because that's the setup I quite like. And we are going to be watching the intro video, but if you want to skip past that to the campaign map, I have sectioned the video out so you can just skip forward to that bit there. But otherwise guys, I shall see you at the campaign map.
Deep under the world, they chitter and plan, watching, waiting. When they emerge, it is a nightmare vision. The Skaven, a ravenous horde of verminous ratmen. They gnaw at the roots of the world like an infected wound. They mean to rule over ruins, for such is the will of their god, the great horned rat. Only the island home of the High Elves has remained unscathed. And at its center is the Great Vortex. A swirling maelstrom that siphons chaos from the world. The Skaven covet its vast power with envious, beady red eyes. The twin-tailed comet is oft seen as an omen, but this time its wake has disturbed the winds of magic. In the secret halls of the Under-Empire, the Council of 13 has gathered. A time to scheme of opportunity.
I kill dwarf things in Pillar City. No! Grakmol's go to Southlands. Hunt for warpstone. Moors are puppet minion. Pestilens infest Lustria. Yes. But all warpstone for council plan. Come, scribe slave. Work to do. Comet makes elf things weak. Council wants power of the vortex. Just as prophecy demands. So it's true. You read markings on the black pillar. Then you know we must find the Screaming One. Find out how to control the vortex.
Oh yes, Master. But a large tribute of warpstone
Will that demon require
if we summon him.
Return to your assigned clan. Harvest warpstone.
Yes, most precipitous of masters.
And flee yourself, your impertinence.
Oh, it will be done, your worship.
Cease your chittering, adherents of decay, for Skrolk speaks. By will of council, we set paw in Lustria to visit ruin upon the reptile things. Yes, yes. Twin-tailed comet brings great opportunity for pestilence. Great Vortex of Ulthuan vulnerable. Much power to be had. A warpstone holds key. Much warpstone found in reptile king cities. Kill Sotex creatures and steal their treasures. Skrolk will bind Vortex to his will and spread sickness across the world. All will succumb to the plague monks.
So guys, welcome to the campaign map, and I must say I do disagree with Skrolk. From what I remember the Warhammer lore, I doubt there's going to be much in the way of warpstone actually found in Lustria, but hey ho, it works for the campaign, so we'll roll with it. But anyway, let's tick you off. Here are the mechanics for Great Pestilens, so they're pretty much standard vanilla Skaven ones. And we've got our first mission to seize the temple belonging to the Southern Sentinels. I think we can manage that. But here we are. Now this is going to be quite interesting because among the mods we're using, we're going to have mods including a whole bunch of different factions, such as the Amazons, the Highlanders of Albion, we've got Brigonnet up here in the north. We've got a lot of different races we're going to be encountering in this playthrough, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. But for the moment, let's get through our first turn. So, Lord Skrolk, let's have a look at you. So, we have 3 units of Plague Monks, 1 unit of Censer Bearers, some Slingers, and the Plague Claw Catapults. That's going to be quite useful against Lizard Men because those Source Warriors are deadly. There's a reason they're among some of the best infantry in the game, and the fact you can get them so early on is amazing. But that's what we need to worry about. But for now, I think we just need to start building up our forces. We have our first target in that we want to basically claim the province under our control, the Lost Valley, which means we're going to have to go up against the Southern Sentinels and try and colonize the Sentinel of Time down here. Now, I don't know if there's any Skaven down here or not. We'll just have to go and see. But let's start things off by recruiting a few more units. In fact, I'm going to pull you back a little bit. Make sure you're inside our zone of control for Oxhill, just to make sure we've got some extra reinforcements. Now, what are we going to recruit? I do not want to recruit Skaven slaves. I know they've got their uses, but I just don't see the point of them. I'd rather just spend double the income and, upkeep and just get clan rats. So what I'm thinking is let's grab a whole bunch of spears for now and let that recruit. If we go to Oxhill South, what can we do? Landmark. A corrupted spawning pool. Spawning pools defiled by Clan Pestilens. The half-formed creatures that emerge make for easy pickings. It's going to increase our income, food growth, and give us some extra garrison units. That's very cheap as well, 500 warpstone fragments. We'll do that. Now I could upgrade the barracks as well. This will give us access to chieftains and that, but it is 2,000 gold, and to be honest, I don't want to keep this building in the capital, because it can build up to a maximum of tier 3, it's much better going in one of these minor settlements instead. But we'll keep it for the moment, because it allows us to recruit our clan rats. So, that's all done. What I would like to try and do is also see if we can claim the Sentinel of Time, I don't know which faction borders it over here, but it would be handy if we can. So let's have a quick look at our lords. Okay, we got Infestation the Mad, Sneven. Ooh, Warpstone. Lord's Army, all units in the... Okay. Kind of feel tempted to go for Plague, just because we are Pestilence, but let's go check out Ruin. Largeable will be a really good one to have. It gives us an extra power reserve to all our units. Oh, one thing you'll notice. With some of the races, like Dark Elves, the Vampire Coast, I should say, the Skaven, you normally have a loyalty mechanic. Now, we do still have that, but I've downloaded a mod which hides it. Because to me, I'd never quite understood the idea that we have to worry about certain characters with, their loyalty getting lower and lower and getting more disloyal. But we can easily see how low it is. So I got rid of it, so it's going to be a risk now. We want to try and keep our people pretty much as happy as possible, because if we don't, when they are in charge of a massive army, they could betray us and I will have no idea about it. But for the moment, I'm going to recruit Skrolk here. Just stick you inside Oxhill for the moment, and what we're going to do is send him down to the Sentinel of Time so he can colonize it. Now, in the meantime, let's check out diplomacy. Luther's undead are the happiest of us.
If I want to cut a deal with you, or just cut you.
Really? Wonder if personality of yours is saying that right now. We could go for a defensive alliance. Would he be okay with that? No. Okay, let's try non-aggression. And let's see if we can get a little bit of money out of him for it. Let's see, 300 warpstone?
Absolutely.
There we go. All this will do now, though, is improve our relationship with them, and we may be able to get them on board as allies. We'll just have to wait and see. But otherwise, I think that's everything we need to worry about. We have no rituals to do, we have no technology to research yet. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do this. Alright, let's switch that back. I need to make sure I do my settings now, don't I? It's been a while since I've done it, so let's check. Medium. Yeah, that's fine. So, what did I want to mention in this turn phase? Oh yeah, why did I pick Clan Pestilens? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, because I thought, you know what? Oh, hang on. Skaven Blight question. A Skittish messenger shuffles in from Skaven Blight. The harvests are failing and they need our help. There is status to be gained in helping them if you can, or if you will. So we can do two things. We can either send 3,500 tokens back and secure +3 loyalty, or we can say this is not a military matter, gain a whole bunch of warpstone, but we will have reduced loyalty. I'm going to send the help back. All tunnels, after all, lead to Skavenblight, and though we are loath to part with our precious spoils, without the city there is nothing. And the Plagues of the Liber Barbonicus. So this is another mod I've downloaded, which allows us to have a bit of a workshop mechanic, and as you can read through here, basically, we gain a warpstone gas every so often. Let's skip through all of that, which is given here. Now we can get this from refinery buildings, we can even get it through characters, just like, for example, Oath Gold for the dwarves and things like that. And what it allows us to do is, if we come on to this button here, we can upgrade our Clan Pestilens troops, as well as be able to unlock a couple of new ones, which will be quite cool. Now we do have 50 this, so let me just double check which one of these are. Excuse me. Plague Monks, Censer Bearers, okay. I just want to make sure I upgrade the right ones. So, if we click you and you, it's used up all our warps gas at the moment, but it has allowed us to gain a few bonuses, and in fact, we hover here. We also get improved movement range and income from raiding. Very, very cool. Right, let's have a look. So the Sentinel of Time has been colonized now, so we could push forward an early attack against the army there. Or we can try and deal with this one here. To be honest, that one's much more threatening, and I would like to try and take sub-platoon if we can. So let's have a look. If we can set up an ambush, bring them towards the city, we'll have the garrison of the city, as well as Lord Skrolk's forces and the extra assistance of Squat here in order to deal with that army. So I think that's everything we need to do this turn. We haven't got much money to do much else, so let's just skip ahead again. But yeah, I was going to say about why Clan Pestilens. Well, it's for a number of reasons. One, because when I think Skaven, I think Pestilens. Right, I know it's one of the great cornerstones. I mean, we do have the warp sorcery technology of Clan Skrolk, for example, the assassins of Clan Pestilens, and so on. But to me, yeah, I'm just going to auto-resolve this. And let's get some extra replenishment for the moment. But yeah, so that was one of the reasons. Secondly is because we've spent a lot of time over in the Southlands, so we've done a few campaigns with like Tutankhanet, Tic-Tac-Toe, Araby, the Grudgebringers, so I wanted to try somewhere a bit different. So Clan Moors was already pushed out the way, as well as some of the other ones. But mainly then as well, I've seen a lot of love for the newer factions, like, you know, Clan Skrolk, Clan Pestilens, Clan Moulder, because of the new DLC, and I thought it would be a good opportunity just to go back and play with a classic faction from Warhammer 2. So, Pestilens it was. And plus, like I said, they are one of my favourites about it. Oh, the loyalty of Skrolk has improved for now. Okay, that's good to know. In that case, I'm actually going to get rid of you for the moment then. We don't need you otherwise. But now that we've dealt with that army, we're going to push forward over here and see about taking Subaton. So let's have a quick look. Let's give us some more spearmen. And let's grab some normal clan rats. I think that will bulk out our forces quite nicely. Alright. We're not going to bother upgrading that, but we will upgrade you. What do we want to go with? Wild Marcher is always a classic, very, very good choice. For Skaven in particular, battle effects I think are very important, just because they can boost up your forces quite massively. And especially if you go for the specific ones. So if we look through, we can go like Respected and Feared, so we can improve our Plague Monks, for example. You know, there's loads of different options here we can try and get. This one for the Plague Claw Catapults, for example. But what I'm actually going to go for is Pestilent Breath. We want to increase our magic with Skrolk as much as possible. So we'll go for that right now. And that's really about it this turn. Now something comes to mind. And I wonder if it's still something that's featured in the game. Or they got rid of it. What I'm thinking is that I remember there was a sort of a hack you can do with places like Skavenblight, where if you basically allow the city to be destroyed, you can go back and use the Skaven mechanic to build it up to like a tier 5 settlement in like 3 turns. And now that you can abandon regions, I think that could be even more of a opportunity, but I don't know. It depends if we can actually do that with our capitals. I mean, it could work. Well, think about it. I don't think it's quite in the spirit of the game, to be fair. So even though it's something you can do, I don't think it's something you should do. So it's not that we're going to do it, but it might be something to think about. Alright. We're going to loot and occupy, and we're going to upgrade it straight away to tier 3 using a lot of our food up. So let's skip through, gain 1000 warp tokens. Speed of Lycos. Okay. Not the most useful thing in the world, but the increased speed may come in handy, but the unspottable may come in handy even more. Right, we need to secure our province, no problems. Let's come onto here and start fixing stuff. So we got a rubbish pit built up. I'm quite happy to repair that. We're going to go for alarm tunnels so we can build up defenses. Let's have a look. Meat sites. That could be tempting, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be too useful, apart from the growth. Now, what I'm going to do for the moment, we're going to go for clan pits. Demolish this, and then we can see about replacing it with another building. But we've got our initial buildings here. They are replenishment. Should be able to see about getting maybe a couple more troops. Let's go for another unit of slingers. Some more clan rats for now. I will be swapping these out to have a lot more Pestilens themed troops. But for the moment, I think we'll go with whatever we can get. So we'll do this. Let's go another point here. Inspiring Presence could come in handy. What would be the most useful, though? Against... River may come in handy against heavily armored troops, like such as Source Warriors. So we'll definitely go for that. What I'm thinking is that we'll basically march up, we'll take Grakmol Crater with Skrolk's force, and then we'll head back down in order to go after the Sentinel of Time and wherever else they have. They must have another region somewhere around here. So if we can take those two out, we can eliminate the Southern Sentinels and gain a lot of land early on. So, let's leave you guys recruit for the moment. Skip forward again. Now, once we've secured our initial province, where I'm thinking to go straight away is actually up to the north, where the coast is, because there is the altar of the Horned Rat up there, which... Okay, sure. We should check technology, trade agreements... Okay, anything else? Right, where were we? Yeah, there is the altar of the Horned Rat somewhere around here, which will give us more warpstone for our rituals. Because at the moment, we are only making 2 a turn. If we can get any more, that would be better. So, let's have a look. I'm going to have to get rid of these Cold One once, eventually. Okay. And that's going to be a pretty thing. Let's move a little closer. 65% chance of ambush? Sure. We're just going to do this so we can sneak up and attack Grakmol's crater straight away. But in the meantime, let's get devious plans so we can gain reduced upkeep and recruitment costs. Cool. Back in Oxilnen, let's upgrade... We could go for exotic animal trader, but we don't exactly have anyone to trade with. Hidden lair. Weapons dump. Don't get me wrong, it is tempting to go for these, but, you know, but... This is... My thinking is the capital of Clan Pestilens. Having a hidden lair straight away for Night Runners and Assassins doesn't quite go with me. What I'm thinking is we'll wait until we can upgrade the capital, and then we can get our hands on the Pox Cauldron and move our way up. Maybe even get the Cauldron of 1,000 Plagues. That would definitely be thematic, allowing us to get the Plague, which will give us a bunch of bonuses and debuff enemies. That would be useful. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. In fact, we could go for breeding stock, get all those different creatures too. So much different stuff. For the moment though, let's get Taskmaster's platform. Allowing us some more technology, as well as increase in public order, which we do have a slight problem with, as it's currently minus 13. How much of that is down to... Oh, it's mostly down to provincial stability and difficulty level. Well, hopefully that's going to help things out a bit. Let's get the clan barracks so we can get our hands on our chieftains. And let's go for Scavenge Pile as well. There we go. Perfect. Alright. Let's have a look-see now about any more alliances.
Admiral of Cars,
See. Kraken Lord... Oh. You took the Sentinel of Time. Bugger. We may need to go to war against you at some point then. We've got Thrall Clan Spittle. They're not willing to do anything. Zana Spocker Au. Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Right, let's skip through. Right. Into the ruins. Ambush, failed. That's no problem. Right. We could just go and attack the crater straight away. But we are going to have to get rid of these guys anyway, so let's just go and kill these. Fairly easy battle. Bye-bye. Alright. Let's take this time some extra food. Ooh, we got Plan Buster for Lord Skrolk. That's some good bonuses, especially the casualty replenishment. That will be useful. Alright, skip through all of that. Alright, let's take the crater. Ooh. Ooh. To be honest, given our forces, I would have expected it to be more in our favour. But let's have some fun. We haven't actually fought a battle yet in this episode. So let's go for that. Let's activate 2 uses of the Menace Below, just because it may come in handy. I'm going to allow us to build the siege towers, and then we'll attack it in the following turn. So you can stay there for the moment. Right, anything else? We build our defenses. Let's get our hands on fortified entries, just so we get the walls around the settlement. Okay, you're relatively fine here. Right, definitely going to have to try and deal with you at some point, aren't we? I suppose instead we could make our way around here. Like, the Altar of the Horned Rat was our target we wanted to go for, but we've got the Mortuary of Solakwa now, as well as Xotal. All of which could work out quite nicely. Imagine up here is... Oh no, it's Itza. Where's Xotal, then? Never mind, I'm sure we'll find it. Okay, Lord Skrolk, let's give you Wither. Now, here we are, gaseous injections. So we can refine more warp gas in order to improve our troops. But I'm thinking, let's go for Inspiring Presence now. So we can start building up the skill of our forces a bit better. Okay, technology researched. Reduced upkeep, fantastic. Let's quickly go and sort out our next technology. We can go for Ruthless Plans for extra food. Okay. Night Runners. To be honest, I think we're going to go for Harsh Crotas and go for Ruthless Plans just so we can build up our growth a little bit faster. But let's go and start the attack. We'll increase the menace below. We'll do it 3 times. No, let's go 2. There we go. Right, see you guys down there. Welcome everyone to the battle outside the walls of the crater. Now, what I've decided to do for this battle is actually deploy all my forces on the left side of the map, put in my Skaven slave slingers on the front because they are slaves, they're there to die, but surrounding them, well, they are surrounding, I should say, our plague monks and censer bearers on the towers, whose job it is to make their way towards this section of the wall here. What I've done with all my other clan rats is, seeing that the enemy hasn't taken a position anywhere else along the wall, I decided to just take the opportunity and get them to run over and climb up there. So they'll be able to claim those sections of the wall pretty easily. While they're doing that then, I'm moving the other units of plague monks that aren't in the towers yet to get a bit closer so they can climb up and support. And also we've got Lord Skrolk about to do the same. While this is all happening, of course, you can see that my Plague Claw Catapult is wrecking a unit of Source Warriors right here, already causing quite a few casualties, leaving a very, very disgusting stain on the wall itself. But there again, we have Pestilence. The plague, poison, and corruption is what we're all about. Now here, though, we did have a slight mistake. I end up sending one Plague... Well, the unit of Plague Monks was originally supposed to come here, and the Censer Bearers here. But what I ended up doing is not realizing straight away that they are basically stuck together like this. And so I end up adjusting their command, as you can see here. So they end up going in slightly different directions, but at least now means that they can go to the wall without getting stuck, which is great. Now, as we're getting closer now, my slingers are starting to just shoot up on the wall, not doing a lot of damage, given that we are trying to get past these rampants here, but they're doing not too badly. And the Plague Claw now is switching targets to a unit of Source Warriors over here, especially since now we don't want our own troops getting an attack. But the ladders are now docked, and you can see our Plague Monks are just charging out. We have a little bit of extra support from the last shot from the catapults. Now Skrolk at this point is starting to cast his magic. We're poisoning our own troops in order to boost them up and withering away the armor value for the enemy's Source Warriors. Meaning that we're going to do a lot of damage extremely quickly and very soon going to be taking the walls for ourselves. We still have slingers providing some shots, as you can see, but all in all nothing too major. And yeah, this bit is pretty much under our control extremely quickly. If we switch over to the other side of the walls here, you can see our troops are starting to make their way up onto the walls, little by little. And for some weird reason, the Source Warriors here are actually ignoring my troops completely, despite the fact that we're literally, as you can see, a stone throw away. You can probably stab each other with the spears, and they got a little bit more closer. But I'm not going to complain. They want to stand around, and so be it. Now, at this point, back on the original part of the wall where we were under attack, we've managed to secure this section, capturing both towers so we didn't have to worry about them shooting it anymore at our forces. And the rest of our units, the other Plague Monks, are making their way up, as well as Lord Skrolk himself. You do see that over here, this unit of Slingers is getting attacked by, I believe, this one here. But I'm not that fussed. Like I said, they are slaves, they are meant to die. So if they distract the enemy fire a little bit, that works fine by me. Now over here, the enemy did have a unit of Feral Cold Ones, which decided to attack my troops as we started bringing down the Plague Monks. Now luckily for me, though, they are very low morale, so they're going to retreat quite quickly, especially as we got more forces coming in from the Censer Bearers here. But of course, Lizardmen are very difficult to actually get to retreat. So as they come in, already got a Skink cohort making their way back. Very quickly though, just decided to run away again, which is all fine by me. Plague Hawk Catapult now switch targets. We are trying to do a little bit of damage on the wall, but on the whole, again, we're just got them surrounded. We're just waiting for an opportunity for enough Skaven to get up onto the walls itself before we actually get to attack. So while that's all going on, we just got other forces doing bits and pieces here and there. So for example, the Feral Cold Ones have managed to make their way back into battle, already losing decisively and going to retreat once again, once of course then gain control of themselves. Those skinks are about to make their way back, but one blast of Pestilent Breath was enough to knock a whole bunch of them to the floor and scare them enough to actually shatter the unit completely. Fine by me. If they want to make their way off the map, that's great. So, while they're doing that now, Skrolk is leading the charge. We're going to be setting up some Plague Monks and Censer Bearers here, ready to try and charge into the units of Lizardmen over this side. Whereas over here, we've sent some of our Plague Monks to basically start going after the remaining units here. Now, we've got the main advantage here because they've only got some skinks and things like that. Very easy pickings for us. But it is going to be slightly annoying because in a minute we're going to get forces coming down behind us from the walls. As you can see, we've got enough Skaven now that have decided to start bringing them into combat. We're getting some weird situations here where we've got troops coming down, for example, making their way across from this side and then just making their way up this way instead. But we've got more than enough Skaven, spears over here to stop that. We've got plenty more now making their way to try and reinforce this center here. We're boosting up our troops using both the Bless with Filth as well as Wither to reduce enemy armor and then give us poison attacks in progress. We've also got a unit of Clan Rats that have been summoned in thanks to the, what's it called? Not Vermintide. The other one you can do when it comes to the siege battles, or battles, and you can set them up. So these guys are charging into the rear. Just in time though for my Censer Bearers and Plague Monks to join in. Skrolk is still busy over here casting spells and doing what he needs to do. And basically now we've got this battle in the bag. We've just got some of the troops hanging out by here. We do have some Source Warriors back here. Not actually under effect by any of our spells, but their leadership is quite bad. If we can hover over here a second, you can see exactly what's damaging it. Then we're getting attacked in the rear, they've taken a lot of damage, and they're going to hang on until the last remaining units. Whereas in the meantime, everyone else has managed to start retreating, including the one that was over here. I ended up casting Blessed with Filth yet again just to finish them off, and with that, the enemy shatter and victory is ours. Now, given that this is a siege assault on a settlement, I didn't have to chase down the remaining units, I just needed to end the battle, and we have managed to secure, another city under our control. Let's head back to the campaign map and start setting things up from there. So there we go, a decisive victory for Clan Pestilens and another city under our control. Managed to get a nice bit of food from them too. So if we skip through this, do we want to lift up the settlements? Can't do it to level 3, but level 2 is quite doable. You know what? Going to do it. There we go. We picked up the World's Edge armor. Many suits of Dwarven Grakmol have fallen to the clutches of the Skaven. Then they are remade to the Ratman's liking. So not only do we have plus 4 armor, but we have this ability. Plus 60 armor when needed. Okay, an interesting one, no doubt. Alright, let's see what we can do with the crater. We do have the rubbish pit. I am going to demolish that. And let's have a look-see. Definitely want to try and get the Taskmaster platform just to get the public order under control. But I'm thinking for this region, the Southern Great Jungle, I'm going to allow emissaries from Clan Pestilens to come here, so we can start working our way up this building tree. Yeah, I think having one province for each great clan, with us being the ones in charge, is quite thematic, and will allow us to get quite a few different options for characters and units as well. So we'll definitely start doing that with you. That's now been done, so if we actually come here quick, we can now recruit ourselves a chieftain. So we got Weapon Master, there's some good bonuses there. Determined will allow us to be a bit better with our forces. Or Cunning for poison attacks and extra melees. The fact that it happens during ambushes, which, given we are Skaven, can happen fairly often, that could work out quite nicely. I think we're going to go for a Weapon Master. I think that'd be quite cool. There we go. You will join us. You managed to get Exploit Minion as well. Oh, no, that's a mission, isn't it? Whoops. Right, we'll have you come and join up with Lord Skrolk eventually, but for the moment you can just shake there in his subaltern. Speaking of Lord Skrolk, could go for that. Nah, let's grab, first of all, some extra weapon strength for our Plague Monks. And do we want to go for any more spells? When do we get this one? Level 6. Okay. Plague Rash. Vermintide could come in handy just because it allows us to get even more forces on the battlefield. I can't remember if I put in the mod pack the one which basically stops units from degrading, but I can't remember. Tell you what, let's go this one. Just so as we cast spells, we can reduce enemies' vigor and speed across the entire battlefield. That's going to be quite cool. And I think that's everything we need to do right now. Yeah, everything else is slowly being upgraded. Everything else is pretty much done. Okay. Okay then guys, we're going to leave it here for today. But we managed to get an excellent start to the campaign, securing several regions from the Southern Sentinels, and a mission it seems, to actually go after the survivors. Now whereabouts are they? Down here. I'm going to be honest, while it's extremely good for the reward, especially for the warpstone, I feel tempted just to leave them alone, and let us instead focus on securing the province up here. Now that we've got Grakmol Crater under control, we can secure these two pretty easily, and then secure the entire province, get that mission completed, and then we can go from there then, I think. But we're going to leave it here for today. So, as always everyone, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and you do join me next time of course, for some more Warhammer. Until then everybody, take care, stay safe, and goodbye for now.